Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Rudy here with your yard service, and today we are here on location in Spruce Grove, and on this beautiful lawn, which you can see, we have a lot of lumps and bumps, which is caused by dew worms, like earthworms, like night crawlers. So in order to deal with that issues, we're not gonna hammering down chemicals. We go the old school way, some muscle power, and put down a top dressing application of masonry sand. And the reason why that is because you wanna give those little critters, those worms, a hostile environment so they go elsewhere. And the sharp sand is basically starting to shred them as they crawl along. So they're gonna go to the neighbor, right? If you have a nasty neighbor or not friendly neighbor or just wanna pull a prank on them, no, cut this out. Anyways, so we're gonna do that before, because we're gonna probably raking and working that into the turf canopy. That's the sand that is. You want to have as short lawn as possible. So first thing we do, trim and cut to about 1.5 inches probably, and then we're gonna put the sand down. You can rake this in or throw it in, just basically work it in the canopy on a level surface. This side note, this application is not to be leveling the lawn, it's just to create a little layer of hostile environment for those suckers, and the leveling comes at a later point when we know the worms have gone. Because if we put all this work into leveling and the worms are not gone, we're probably kind of like just wasting money and efforts in order to level the lawn, because in a few years down it's gonna be the same stuff because the worms are still there. Anyways, so Rudy stopped talking. Matt is already starting the trimmer there in the back. So we're gonna cut down the lawn short, around 1.5 inches, so it's really short. Mosquito here. And then we're gonna put down the sand, and I'm gonna tag you along. We have it all mowed. We have it real short, as short as you can get when you have a bumpy lawn. If you take it too short, you're not gonna have any fun because you're bottoming out all the time. And what we have here is our top dresser. That's where the sand goes in and basically gives us an even application. We only need about up to 1/4 inch of material of sand on the lawn, so we don't need to hammer it down that thick because the lawn actually needs to still grow. So the sand is basically just settling in between the lawn. It's not sitting on top of the lawn. than what we don't want to do, so we don't want to choke out the lawn. So this area has sand and this area does not have sand. You see there's only a slight difference, and when we go down close you see, like, obviously we're gonna rake this in a little bit more as it dries out. So but like it's not real a blanket of sand, it's kind of like more a fine spread, so it can settle in between the grass blades. This is too thick. You don't want to have this because the grass is not showing anymore, so you need to rake this in, kind of like rake this in, and that's easier when the sand is drier. The drier the sand, the easier it settles in between the grass. So if you have it to this point, let it sit for a few hours so it dries out more, and the drier it is, the easier it will be to rake in. And also that was one of the main reasons why we actually had the lawn mowed short, so it's easier to rake in. If the lawn is too long, the raking will be too much resistance and you won't be having any fun doing the job. I mean, it's hard enough doing it, especially if you don't have a tool, a top dresser like this. If you need to rake everything out and spread everything out by hand, you're gonna have a few loads of sand to load. Obviously, the bigger the turf, the more you need assistance and help doing it. And we are back, guys. We have it all spread out. The sand is all spread out, and you can see Matt, he's pulling a drag mat, and what that will do, he's basically putting the sand right down into the turf canopy, so it's not sitting on top of the lawn, which we don't want to do because we still want the lawn to be able to grow. And we just want to have the sand basically sit right in between the lawn, the leaf blades. So that's what the drag mat will do. Obviously, if you don't have a drag mat, you can also just hand rake it and basically just work it into the lawn. This will be a little bit more physical way to do it, but if this is what you got, this is what you got to do. So as you can see, all the sand here needs to get worked into the turf. They can see basically like the drag mat basically pulls up all this thicker sand. This was from a spill, and so here you can see the difference already. This pass here has been raked or like worked with a drag mat, and over here that's kind of like the line. This needs to be done. So you can see the sand on this area is already further down, and this is the whole idea, like all those thicker areas. I mean, like, it's not really thick, it's just like a 1/4 inch maximum, but we don't want to have it sit on top, so we gotta work it in with a drag mat. All right, the magic is done. We have it all raked in. The sand is almost disappeared from the surface. Only if you know it's there, or in those spots that have like bare dirt, that's where the sand obviously sits on top of the surface. But wherever the turf is, it's settled right in the canopy, so it's not sitting on top of the lawn. That's good because we still want to have a growing lawn. We are not looking for leveling the lawn at this point. We're just fighting off or scaring off the dew worms, so they go somewhere else. So here we have the lawn set. You can barely tell we have a sand application here at top dressing. Only when you zoom in close, you can tell that there is sand in here, and obviously if you have open spots in the turf, you can see those a little bit better, obviously. But overall, looking here, you can barely see it. There's all sand in here, everywhere. Even over there. Now this is the next yard where you see the cut edge. That's the neighbor's yard. There's the drag mat, works wonders. Although we did have to hand rake to make all the sand disappear. That's where the real workout is. Again, this is Rudy here with your yard service. If you have a bumpy lawn, or if you have dew worms where the lawn is super bumpy and every time you mow you wish you could do something about it, give us a call, 780-218-8134, or check out our website, euroyardservice.com, and see you in the lawn.